शाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं सागजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साधवेतं सावधूतं परिजनाश्रयितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरसे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपीशा गोपिका कान्ता श्रीराधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी कृष्णभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Yes, Hare Krishna. If all the devotees can switch off their videos, it would be nice to see. Hare Krishna. Till now, we have gone through the 13th chapters and the 14th chapter. So, just I'll give a little bit summary of the 14th chapter and then begin today the 15th chapter. So, in the 13th chapter, we saw there was a Bija Vakya, Purusa Prakati Stoi, Bhunkte Prakati Janaguna, Karanam Guna Sangasya, Sad Asadyani Janmasu. So, this is the Bija Vakya of Bhagavad Gita because this talks about that because the desire to enjoy the material world, the living entity goes into sadyonis and asadyonis. So but that seed of enjoying mentality is nourished by the three modes of mental nature, and that's how the 14th chapter began. And, uh, and in the 14th chapters, we saw that what is the characteristic of the three modes of sattva, rajas, tama. And then at the last of that was there, we saw that how sattva guna is provides sukham and jnanam, and then Rajaguna is the Sang and Trishna, and the Tamoguna is Nidra, Alas, and Praman. These are the characteristics. And then at the last, we saw that what is the solution for the coming out or transcending these three modes. And the one solution we saw is what that if you uh, want to go to the higher modes, then you have, by the help of higher modes, you can overcome the lower modes. है. So it means if you try to remain your lifestyle and other aspects, you try to keep in Sattva then easily you can overcome the Rajas and Tamas. And but at the last, we saw that bhakti, by performing uninterrupted bhakti, one goes from lower modes to higher modes and then transcend the modes. So at current state, whatever the modes we are in, but if we perform bhakti on that mode, with our best of our capacity, then by the performing bhakti, we, we go above, because our heart get purified and we go above. So that's what the sloka, mamcha vebicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samtityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So this was the thing. Now it comes the 15th chapter. So now the bija is there, the seed is there. You have nourished the seed, and the now whole tree is coming. Now Krishna is going to give description about this tree. And, so we'll begin this 15th chapter. And then not only the description of the tree will be given, but Krishna will be also be telling that how to cut this tree, because that is very important. Otherwise, the living entity will keep on continuing in the material world. So this chapter is name is Purushottam Yoga. When there is a Purushottam Mass is there, and Adhika Mass time we recite this whole chapter. So which are the this the having the 20 slokas. I think 12th and 15th. These are the two chapters which have minimum number of slokas, but they are the most important chapters. And so, so here in the Purushottam Yoga is what this chapter is going to say, that Bhagavan is the ultimate reality, and that Krishna, the Bhagavan aspect of Krishna is the ultimate reality. It is very important to take shelter of him. And the importance of taking shelter of Krishna has been emphasized and by Lord himself here. Then the first 1 to 6, Krishna is talking about the initially about the tree, and then how to cut this tree. It means what, how to attain liberation by detachment. And, and in the 7 to 11, Lord is going to tell about if one does not cut this tree, then what will happen? Then there will be bondage, and due to that, then there will be transmigration from one body to another body. And now then 12 to 15, and, it has been told that how Krishna is assisting us in our material existence. And how Krishna is helping the jiva to continue. And, so this is in 12 to 15, and in our spiritual endeavor also, how Krishna is assisting, how Krishna is becoming assistant in 12. And then 16 to 18, that is the essence of Vedanta. The 16 to 18, these are three slokas, that is also called as the three sloki Gita. And which is specifically talking about how Krishna is Purushottam. And, and then more explanation of this given in the next two verses, and which is the three Shloki Gita's concept has been more emphasized in these two slokas, where we understand that if one knows Krishna, then he knows, in principally he knows everything. And so this is the sum, the overview of the chapter. And now let us begin with the first sloka. So now today we are going to see how one can attain liberation by detachment. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhvamulam Adasakam Asvatam Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Pranani Yastam Veda Saveda Ved. Yes, somebody can read the translation.
The
It is
Supreme
said,
Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there in an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas.
So this tree, Krishna is telling, this is the imperishable banyan tree. And Aswata means what? Banyan tree. And it is the imperishable banyan tree, and that has its roots imperishable, but it will not get perished. And only solution is for this tree will be what? Later on we're going to say that we have to cut it off. That's why the word is, Krishna is telling, imperishable. And until living entity cuts, it is going to continue for. eternity in one sense. And, so this tree is very special tree. So this tree is having the roots upward and the branches down. And, the only place this tree you will find that is on the bank of some river. And, the bank of the river, the tree is there, and the reflection of that tree you will see that then you will find the root. In the reflection, you'll see the root is upward and the branches are the downwards. And, so what this tree represents? The tree represent the material existence. This whole tree, which is having the uh, roots are upward and the branches are the downwards. And so as we say that actually somebody is walking on the bank. One person was there. He was walking on the bank of the river, and then he sees there was a inside the river there is a mango is there, and, and he jumps inside the river to get that mango. But he tries his best, but he cannot get the mango. Why? Because the mango is not there. And then some sadhu comes. He says, "Sir, what are you searching?" I'm sir, I'm searching for the mango. And he says, "Oh, mango is not there. Mango is actually the outside." And he just come up. And so same way, the jivatma is looking for the pleasures in this world. And by from the different things, but then he does not get that pleasure, and he is frustrated ultimately. But when he comes in contact with the devotees, then the uh, real thing is the is connected to the real tree. So what is the now the question comes that this tree whole tree is representing the material existence. No. So what is the meaning of this that material existence? The material existence generally matter is in the eternal. Soul is also eternal. So what is the meaning of this material existence? Material existence is that when soul's existence within matter, when soul comes in contact with the matter, and, so that is then that become the material exist. And, and this whole tree, this is the upside down tree and downward tree, and it is and that's why the word has been used here. Urdu Mula Ha Ada Saka. And it is there in the water. Reflection is upside down. The our so it means what this whole material world is the just reflection of the spiritual world. And, like we see the one time Srila Prabhupada was walking on the one is on in the one street, and there is his one dustbin. And the Prabhupada says the whole material world should be should thrown into this dustbin. And, then you see that Bhavu Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur also says uh, that he compares the material world to be public toilet. And he says the public toilet you go and then immediately you comes out. And, so if somebody is there in material world, one should always try to immediately get out of it. But the living entities keep on continuing in this material world. And in between now, then Jivatma is keep on struggling in this material world. Then here the word is used avyaya, which I already told. This material world is imperishable, and or the material existence is the imperishable. And then there is a word called asvata or avyaya asvata. It means what that which will not last. And, and the material existence is eternal, but we are not attracted to material existence. Getting but the material form. And, so what is the matter? Those are not permanent. So there is a no lasting happiness. We are attracted by the external forms, not the Atma. So what it wanted to say that actually the formation of this whole world is so the actually if you elemental level if you see you will not get attracted by the material world. But if you see the manifestation and the forms and So when the different elements comes together and come makes the different product, है ना, भुंगते प्रकृति जान गुणा, प्रकृति जान गुणा means what different products of material world, है ना. So when they comes out, the living entity get attracted by them. But the Jivatma should understand there is no lasting happiness, and he does not get happiness. He get a very temporary happiness, but one get attracted by the external forms of this material world. Yes, somebody can read this highlighted one.
This process of extrication should be understood. In the previous chapters, it has been explained that there are many processes by which to get out of the material entanglement. And up to the 14th chapter, we have seen that devotional service to the Supreme Lord is the best way. Now, the basic principle of devotional service is detachment from material activities and attachment to the transcendental service of the Lord.
Ah, so what is the basic thing of a devotional service is what the devotional service begins with first detachment from material activities. है ना? Without getting detached, we cannot become attached. है ना? So that's what it is studying. है ना? So when one cannot keep the legs in two together. है ना? So then the further, the fruits represent the result of the living entities, activities, namely religion, economic developments, and sense gratification. So this tree has the fruits. What is the fruits? It is the these four purushartha, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. This tree has the branches. The branches is represented by here. You can see uh, the leaves. Leaves is represented by the Vedic hymns. है ना? And the further about the branches and the twigs will also come that we will see this. Next, somebody can read this.
The tree of this material world is only a reflection of the real tree of the spiritual world. This reflection of the spiritual world is situated on desire, just as tree's reflection is situated on water. Desire is the cause of things being situated in this reflected material world. One who wants to get out of this material existence must know this tree thoroughly through analytical study. Then he can cut off his relationship with it.
Uh, so now the reflection is there, but reflection has to be on some surface. And what is the surface? Yes, what is the surface is mentioned here? Desire. But that desire is on the surface of that desire, the tree is manifested. It means what? Like for every Atma, if he particularly if he desire to enjoy, then for him the whole material existence is there. है ना? But if he desires to serve the Lord, then the real tree will be there for him. है ना? The whole reflection is there on the desire, surface of a desire. है ना? So it means what? One of the things we need to understand that we need to focus on the changing of desires. है ना? Desires plays the very important roles. Desires actually decides our directions. है ना? So it is in previous chapter also we saw that when uh, this Bija Vakya was explained, so there is also purport purposes. So the change of desires is very important. Now my question to all of you that how the desire changes. What is the way of changing the desires that we saw in the previous chapter? Anybody? 13 chapters we saw. What is the way to change the desire?
Association.
Association of whom?
मतलब जिस प्रकार का हमें डिजायर लाना है वैसे वैसे लोगों के साथ
Hmm.
रहना पड़ा है.
So now we want to change exactly. Now we want to change the desire from the material desire to spiritual desire. So then there is a very important the association of pure devotee. The when the we saw also in 13th chapter this word the submitting to hearing process. You know? When there is an intervention of the pure devotees there, somebody's life, then change of desires will start taking place. You know? And yes, now somebody can read this.
The material reflection of the real tree has to be cut off when it is said that a person knows the Vedas. It is assumed that he knows how to cut off attachment to this material world. If one knows if one knows that process, he actually knows the Vedas. One who is attracted by the ritualistic formulas of the Vedas is attracted by the beautiful green leaves of the tree. He does not exactly know the purpose of the Vedas. The purpose of the Vedas are disclosed by the personality of Godhead Himself.
So there are in Vedas, you will find there are a lot of Falasrutis is there. So many people they perform, they read the Vedas, and finally after reading Vedas, then they become very inspired to do some karma kanda or some process so that by then they can go to heavenly planets and all that. है ना? So that is not the purpose of Vedas. है ना? So purpose of all the Vedas is what somebody can tell. There is one sloka which talks about the purpose of Vedas. Exactly. Vedesa sarver ahamev vedyam. In all the Vedas, I am to be known. है ना? Correct. And now this is very important thing is that in all the Vedas, I am to be known, right? Now Krishna says, somebody want to know about me, how one can know? There is one sloka in Bhagavad Gita. You can tell. Okay. Now this is the two sloka. One can know about me through bhakti. Bhakti mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattva tato mam tattvate gyatva visate tadanantaram. Somebody can know about me through bhakti. And this sloka first, this sloka is another sloka is telling that I am to be known by bhakti. In all the Vedas, I am to be known. Now, if you put both the slokas together, what do you understand? Anybody like to say? In all the Vedas, I am to be known, and then Krishna is telling, uh, I can be known only by bhakti.
The essential part of the Vedas are bhakti element.
Exactly. So, in all the purpose of Vedas is what, or the essential part of Vedas is what? Bhakti. है ना? So, by reading Vedas, if somebody is not coming to understanding of practicing bhakti, it means he's not reading Vedas. You know that incident when some of the Panditji they came to Prabhupada, and then they started talking to Srila Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada told, okay, uh, and Prabhupada asked to them, and do you can you tell about who is Bhagavan? Then these Panditji started telling that Swamiji, this is a very big subject matter. And, so we will discuss some other time, or it will take long time. And then Prabhupada immediately called that Saraswati. Saraswati, can you tell who is this Bhagavan, who is the Supreme Personality of God? So Saraswati, and Prabhupada also shows the cookies to her, so that she immediately answered. And the Saraswati says, Prabhupada, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Prabhupada says, see, in Krishna consciousness, even the small child also knows who is the Supreme Personality of God. No, no. But all of you are big, big Pandit, you read all the Vedas so much, but still you do not know. Right. So this we understand. The purpose of all Vedas is to come to this understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I need to practice bhakti, by which I can attain Krishna. So that's what Prabhupada is telling here. The one who is attracted by ritualistic formulas of Vedas is attracted by beautiful green leaves of that tree. The green leaves are like Vedic hymns. One is attracted by those Vedic hymns. You know, he remains in the material world only. He jumps from one leaf to another leaf. You know, like that. Now next. So this is the second shloka. More description about it given. एक minute just wait a bit. Hmm. So here in the previous sloka, there is a one word used. The yastam vedasa vedavid. What is the meaning of vedavid? It means knower of the Vedas. Mhm. So What is the meaning of knower of Vedas? I mean, he does not only knows about Vedic hymns, but he knows the whole tree. It means what he knows about the whole tree, how this whole tree is, and he knows the purpose of this tree, and then he understands that how to get out from this tree. That is the knower of the Vedavit. Then now next sloka. Adascha urdhvam prashutasya tasya ad, adascha urdhvam prashutasya tasya sakha guna pravada visaya pravala adascha mulanyanu karmanubandhini manusya loke. So here it has been adascha urdhvam prasastas tasya sakha. It means what? The question is telling the root is going upward and downward. And other means downward, urdhva means upward. The roots of this tree and, is going downward also and is going upward also. And, so, so this shows that how the living entity and who has a desire to enjoy and just keep on going up and down and in this tree. So this roots are spread. Banyan tree, if you see, the roots are spread everywhere. And it means what? It also shows that how complicated it is. And Guna pravada visaya pravala. And it is visaya pravala means what? And vis okay, visaya is the sense of the pravala means tricks. Pravada means it is developed. Guna means what? It is the three modes of material nature. So it is developed, it is nourished by the three modes of material nature. And then in this tree, Visaya Pravala means twigs. And the twigs are, I think this is called the small branches. And so that uh, is the twigs are the sense object. And then Adacha Mulani Anusantatani. What is the meaning of that? That the Mulani Anusantatani. And this Mula means roots are extended downward. And then Karmanu Bandini Manusya Loke. It means what? If one get bound in this whole tree, and this tree is completely very complicated. So what is the meaning of karmanu bandhani? By performing different karma. The further bodies are generated. Like these are bound to the fruitive actions of the human society. Yes, somebody can read that translation.
The
The branches,
branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of human society.
Mhm. Yes, somebody can read this highlighted one. Then we can discuss.
the real root is from
The
Brahmaloka.
twigs, highlighted one. The twigs. This whole
The,
event.
the twigs of the tree are considered to be the sense objects. By development of the three modes of nature, we develop different senses, and by the senses, we enjoy different varieties of sense objects. The tips of the branches are the senses, the ears, nose, eyes, etc., which are attached to the enjoyment of different sense objects. The twigs are sound, form, touch, and so on, the sense objects. The subsidiary roots are attachments and aversions, which are byproducts of different varieties of suffering and sense enjoyment. The tendencies toward piety and impiety are considered to develop from three secondary roots, which spread in these secondary roots, which spread in all directions. The real root is from Ramaloka, and the other roots are in the human planetary systems. After one enjoys the results of virtuous activities in the upper planetary systems, he comes down to this earth and renews his karma or fruitive activities for promotion.
Hmm. So here it has been told how the senses are the tips of the branches, and they are connected to the sense object, which are the twigs, and which are attached to the enjoyment of the different sense object. So you can see that how the roots, the subsidiary roots, the secondary roots are the attachment and aversion. The real root is what? The desire to enjoy. And due to that, what happened? The rag and dvesa, both are generated. And which are byproduct of the varieties of sufferings and sense enjoyment. And that's how the whole tree is so complicated. That's it. So this is the description about the tree. Now next, third and fourth. न रूप न रूपं सेह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादि न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अस्वस्थमेनं सविरूढमूल असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा ततः पदं तत् परिमार्गितव्यं यस्मिन् गता न निवृतन्ति भूय तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्य यतः प्रवृत्ति प्रसुप्ता पुराणी. Yes, someone can read, translate.
The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one understands where it begins or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial.
So this is the first shloka is talking about that this tree actually very difficult to perceive. Now, like we all of us are reading this, so we are able to understand. Or like when we started attending device, or like when we started coming in the association of devotees and started hearing the transcendental knowledge, then we started understanding the mind is the problem and the senses are the problem. Otherwise, what we were thinking before, we were not able to discriminate even between the mind and ourselves. We would think that we are the mind, is it not? And we were living our lives. Then, but now, after coming to this Krishna consciousness, we started understanding that. And in general, you find the people cannot perceive about this tree in this world. And they think people start thinking that the body is the real. They start thinking that okay, I need to satisfy the body, and then they work like that. And janasya moho aham mameti. And, So So no one can understand where it ends, where this tree begins, where its foundation is. So this is very complicated tree. But only solution for this tree is that what is that? It has to be cut down. And sometimes somebody may ask, Prabhuji, how can we happily situated in the material world for eternity? the, the material world, one cannot be happily situated. The only solution that go is spiritual world. So that's what it is telling. Therefore, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns. And this happens by surrendering to the Supreme Lord. And so here the word is, this is very important, that this all of you can see. Asanga sastrena dradena chitva. The word is drada. Drada means determination. Until one is determined, he will not be able to cut this tree. And so one should be determined. And the determination has to be there. Uh, So when that determination will come, so when we start understanding this, we cannot be happy in this world. This world is not our place. This world is actually the foreign place. Madam. So that's why you find this whole section of this last six chapters of Bhagavad Gita is the Jnana Yoga. The Jnana Yoga is very much emphasized about detachment. Like if you see in Bhagavatam also, if you go to the 11th canto, Madam, in 11th canto, there is a description is given by Lord to the Uddhava. And that is also about most of the thing is about detachment and then surrendering to the Lord. And there also we find the many stories like Pingla, the bird's story. Then there is Avanti Brahman. So like we see the Avanti Brahman, how much he was determined, and that's why he could give it up. So sense gratification, if we want to give up, one need to be determined. If one want to cut off this tree, one need to be determined. And then with that is very important is that the developing attachment to Krishna. And because to the degree that are otherwise again we'll be back to the same thing. And it is very important to the degree of we develop the attachment to Krishna, to that degree one will be able to give up the thing. So here Prabhupada is writing the word asanga is very important in this connection because the attachment for sense enjoyment and lording over the material nature is very strong. Therefore, one must learn detachment by discussion of spiritual science based on authoritative scriptures, and one must hear from the persons who are actually in knowledge. So this is very important uh, to regularly read and hear about the material world and about the what is this world actually. So if we regularly discuss of the spiritual science based on authoritative scriptures, then one will be able to give up. And if somebody reads Prabhupada books regularly, then he will be able to see that his determination to take shelter of Krishna will increase, and he will not seek pleasures of this world. As a result of such a discussion in the association of devotees, one comes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then the first thing one must do is surrender to Him. The result of the discussion will he will understand Krishna, and the first thing he will do is surrender to Krishna. And so now, what is the whole this thing is telling? That don't try to figure out about this tree, and don't try to figure out the things of this tree. Don't try to jump from one tree to this tree. कह रहे कहाँ से इस ट्री को है ना से निकला जाए नहीं only solution is telling get out of this tree and don't try to become happy in this tree and attain to that position where one will not fall. So that's what is telling. So that will happen by surrender to Krishna. So that exactly how we can cut this tree. The process has been given here, and this is very important. And the process of surrendering to Krishna has been given here. Let me see. Nirmana moha jita sanga dosa adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama dvande vimukta sukha dukkha sange gachanti amoda padamavyayam tat. So what is telling? Nirmana moha. Nirmana means what? Without Prabhupada is writing here. Nirmana means without false prestige. The Prabhupada says the first qualification that one should not deluded by pride. If one want to cut off, one want to surrender to Krishna. The first thing is what? One should not be deluded. Because in the conditional state, the soul is puffed up and thinking himself the Lord of material nature. It is very difficult for him to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of God. Because everybody is very puffed up about his positions. He is thinking that I can do it. Like you see, this is the one of the best shloka, one of the powerful shloka of Bhagavad Gita. This talks about surrendering, how to surrender actually. This nirmanam is what? That generally person thinks that I alone can do anything. He has this kind of a pride that I can do anything, whatever I like, and whatever I want to do. The see, but the devotee is not having this kind of understanding. Actually, we all need self confidence, but we need the real self confidence. There is called false self confidence, then there is called real self confidence. The false self confidence means what? Like generally outside people, motivational speakers will be there. They will boost people's ego. I remember when I was preparing for IITJ, so that time I would put one slogan in front of my table. uh, on the wall, I would put this कि बंदूक की गोली तूफानों को भी चीर देती है. So that time not having that understanding of Krishna consciousness. So but कि हाँ मेहनत करेंगे आईआईटी में फर्स्ट रैंक लेके आएंगे. and and then first time I gave IIT, it did not uh, got some 20,000 rank, did not get IIT exactly IIT college. So then immediately I became little humble. And then second time I gave, the second time also I did not got it. And after giving second time, I became completely humbled. And then I prayed to Krishna. And that time I would worship Krishna. Then pray to Lord, whatever you give, I will be ready to take. Whatever kind of a college you give, I will be taking. Even you give some college in my street, that also I can take. And with that mood, I went and gave a triple E exam, which is now JEE Mains. And that's how my exam went very well. With a peaceful mind, I could give the exam, and then I got the good rank. And then I went to NIT teaching. After. But one thing happened in transformation happened that actually I am not the doer. The Lord is the doer. And the Lord is we है ना वो मेरा सारा कॉन्सेप्ट खत्म हो गया बंदूक की गोली तूफानों को भी चीर देती है. So somewhere the surrendering process begins. So this is why very important to understand that our confidence should be there on the having confidence, under, having the understanding of Krishna. That our confidence should come through that. Then, like Prabhupada gives one time, Srila Prabhupada was there, walk, going for the morning walk with Brahmanand Prabhu and some more devotees. And then Prabhupada immediately saw there was one crab was there. And Brahmanand Prabhu was very heavy personality. Then Papa told, Brahmananda, go and catch this crab. So Brahmananda ran and trying to catch that crab. So when he was trying to catch the crab went inside the water, ocean water. Then Papa started laughing. And Papa told Brahmananda, you are so heavy. The crab is so small, but still you are not able to catch the crab. Who could not give any answer. Then Papa told, that's because the crab has taken the shelter of the big ocean. The same way, then Papa says the Maya is very powerful like you, and we all are like the Jiva, that crab. But the small crab or small Jiva takes shelter of the big ocean, then he can be saved from Maya cannot catch him. So this is directly is telling about this whole example is the purport of Devasi Gunamai Mam Maya Durataya Mamai Vya Prapadante Maya Metam Taratite. Like Srila Prabhupada himself in his mood was also like that. When he was going to America, he was not thinking that I am going to preach them, I am going to make them devotees. No, he prays that actually I do not have any qualification. I will they will understand my language or not, I do not know. Please, oh my Lord, please make them understand. So and he's praised that also that I am just a instrument in your hand. Nachao nachao Prabhu. And I am just like a puppet in your hand. That was the syllable of mood. And then he said that Bhakti nai vedanai name ko budharo Bhakti Vedanta na ye bhi sarthak karo. है ना? I do not have bhakti. Prabhupada is telling. है ना? Like that. And Vedana, I do not know Vedas who has written so many books. But the mood of Srila Prabhupada, you see, Bhakti Nai, Vedanai, Name Uddhara. But I have full faith on the holy name that your holy name will do wonder. है ना? So please make my name Bhakti Vedanta Sarthak. है ना? That's what Prabhupada's mood is. Well, the devotee has the real self-confidence. Devotee does not have the false self-confidence. We can see here. This is what Prabhupada also writes here. Yes, somebody can read this further. One should know by the cultivation of real knowledge.
Should know by the cultivation of real knowledge that he is not Lord of material nature. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Lord. When one is free from delusion caused by pride, he can begin the process of surrender. For one who is always expecting some honor in the material world, it is not possible to surrender to the Supreme Person. Pride is due to illusion. For although one comes here, stay for a brief time, and then go away, he has the foolish notion that he is the Lord of the world. He thus makes all things complicated, and he is always in trouble. The whole world moves under suppression.
This impression. What is the impression? Okay, everything is moving according to my way. है ना? That's why we see this Trinadapi Sunichena Tarurupi Saisnuna Man Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. This is very, very important. If you do, then only if you follow somebody follows, then only one can chant always the holy name of the Lord. Otherwise, very difficult. Then otherwise surrendering to Krishna is very tough. Then Prabhupada is writing further. One has to get out of this false notion that the human society is the proprietor of this world. That's what he says. The human society is not proprietor. Krishna is the proprietor of this world. Which is the sloka in the Gita?
हम
Bhaktaram.
सर्वस्व प्रभु
Bhaktaram
Aham sarvasya prabhu. But he says I am the proprietor also, I am controller also, I am enjoyer also.
Bhaktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvalokamaishwaram.
Exactly. Bhaktaram. Yagyatapsam sarvaloka maheswaram suvedam sarvbhutanam kyatamam santam rachati. This is the peace formula. When one is freed from a false notion, that he becomes free from all false association caused by familial, social, and the national affections. When one is freed from this understanding that we are not the proper proprietor, then one becomes free from all kind of false association. These false association, है ना, जैसे हम जैसे दुनिया में आते हैं हमको, है ना, people in this world, even the very close people in our life, they make us understand that these things belongs to you, and you are the proprietor of the things of this world. है ना? But actually, when we comes in devotees association, then we say that I see you. We are just caretaker, and we are not the proprietor. This faulty association binds one to this material world. After this stage, one has to develop spiritual knowledge. So one has to cultivate the knowledge of what is actually his own and what is actually not his own. है ना? And when one has an understanding of things as they are, he becomes free from all dual conceptions such as happiness and distress, pleasure and pain. So when he start understanding things in right perspective, then he become free from happiness, distress of this world, pleasure, pain. So here the word is used so okay, I'll just go to sloka. Adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama. So he become nirmana moha, he become due to nirmana, he become moha, jita sanga dosa. Everything is due to what? The uh, the sanga, the faulty sanga dosa. And now the next line is telling that adhyatma nitya vinivrit kama. It means what? If one becomes free from all the desire to enjoy, vinivrit kama. Bhakti is beyond the pravritti and nivritti. We do not have to give up the world. One does not have to give up this world, but one has to give up the desire to enjoy. That is the vinivritta kama. And nivrit hona kama. Kama means desire to enjoy. And so one can possess the things of this world, but still he can be vinivritta kama. Like we see Yudhishthira Maharaj and so many kings, Kulsekar and Amrish Maharaj and all. Dvandir vimukta sukh dukhe sange. Because of one should be, if one become the free from the dvanda, dualities of this world and the sukha and dukkha, then one can surrender to Krishna. But because Jiva has the desire to enjoy, then he has to then suffer, and sukha and dukkha comes in. And if one follow this process of surrender, then what will happen? Gachanti amuda padam avyayam tat. He will go to the personal abode of the Lord, which is avyaya, which is eternal. About the abode of the Lord is more explained to the next sloka. Like you see about nirvana, having the pride that okay, everything belongs to me, or I am the, like Indra and Vritasur fight is going on. And the Vritasur telling, okay, you take the Vajra and kill me. And you become the enjoyer of this heavenly planet and remain here only. I want to go to the spiritual world. So we can see the Indra has that desire that he wanted to remain here and enjoy. And because of that desire to enjoy, then Indra remains here only. But with the soul, he wanted to transfer to the spiritual world. That's what. That's why if you read the prayers of Vitrasu, so amazing. Ham hare tav dasek mula dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuya. है ना मन स्मरत सुपते गुणास्त गृणीत वाक कर्म करो तो kaya. And this desire is what just want to become servant of the devotees, and with his body, mind, and word, he want to serve the Lord and his devotees. Then further he says, Nanak prishtam na chaparameshtam na sarvabhoma narasadipatyam. He does not want anything of this world. Naka prishtam means what? Parameshtam is Brahma Loka. है He does not see the Loka, Jana Loka, Tapa Loka. He does not want the lower planets. He does not want anything. But only thing that he don't want to forget the lotus feet of the Lord. है And then at the last, then he says that Ajata Paksa, that he talks about, he can always remember, just like a bird who always, baby bird always remember when the mother will come. Just like the Priya, means the newly wedded woman, she remembers her husband who has gone outside, and the calf remembers her mother when the mother will come from the forest. The same way, my Lord Mano Arvind, uh, Didrakshasate, which he says that when the same way he also looking for that remembrance of the Lord, that remembrance comes to him. We can see this is the mode of a devotee. But on the other side, Indra was having a desire to enjoy, and that's why Indra continues. Now Krishna is telling in the sixth sloka, that because Krishna is speaking in the previous sloka, Gachanti amoda padam avayam. He goes to my abode. So how Arjuna is thinking, oh my Lord, how is your abode? Can I know about that? And then Krishna is speaking about it. न तद्भास्यते न तद्भास्यते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावक यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. Yes, someone can read translation.
That supreme abode of mine is not illumined by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never returns to this material world.
So Krishna is telling that that abode of mine is not illuminated by sun and moon. Many times devotees understand that there is a no sun and moon in the spiritual world. That is a wrong understanding. There is a sun and moon in a spiritual world. But the spiritual world itself is a self-luminous. So there is a no need of uh, the light of the sun or the moon there. Then what sun and moon does? The moon and sun, they are engaged into service of the Lord. है ना कि कृष्ण रास लीला फर्स्ट टाइम कर रहे हैं तो उसके अंदर मून देखना चाहिए पिक्चर में पीछे है ना तो this moon will come and it will create nice scenario. Serve the Lord. है ना They engage, and Krishna want now immediately, you know, rain. So then there will be rain will be there. And Krishna want immediately. Okay, now in the pastime he wants immediately some light. The sun may come and give some light. Although there is no need, but for the pastime sake, for the service sake, he comes and helps that. So that's what. The Prabhupada writes further that when we hear about these informations about the spiritual world, like Bhagavad Gita 8th chapter also talks about that, about the spiritual world. And also you go to the Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 15 chapters, that is the description of the kingdom of God. That has been, the chapter name is itself is like that. So Prabhupada says, you know, that there is a no chance of coming back here in the conditional life. The living entity considers himself to the Lord of matter world, but in the liberated state he enters into the spiritual kingdom and becomes as associate of the Supreme Lord. There he enjoys eternal bliss, eternal life, and full knowledge. So now Prabhupada is telling one should be captivated by this information. Which information? The description of the spiritual world. And so that's why we should hear about again and again about the spiritual world. Like people hear about America, they go to America. People now hearing about uh, the moon, so then they are planning to go to moon. And that's why the hearing is very, very important. So he should desire to transfer himself to that eternal world and extricate himself from this false reflection of the reality. For one who is too much attached to this material world, it is very difficult to cut that attachment. But if it takes to Krishna consciousness, there is a chance of gradually becoming detached. Yes, somebody can read this highlighted one. How to do that then? I know.
One has to
How this
associate himself with the devotee, those who are in Krishna consciousness. One should search out a society dedicated to Krishna consciousness and learn how to discharge devotional service. In this way, he can cut off his attachment to the material world. One cannot become detached from the attraction of the material world simply by dressing himself in saffron cloth. He must become attached to the devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, one should take it very seriously that devotional service, as described in the 12th chapter, is the only way to get out of this false representation of the real tree. In chapter 14, the communication of all kinds of process by material nature is described. Only devotional service is described as purely transcendental.
only devotional service is described as the purely transcendental. So here Prabhupada is telling, you see, this one cannot become detached from the attraction of the material world simply by dressing himself in saffron cloth. He must become attached to the devotional service of the Lord. It means what? The attachment, we should see that our attachment is increasing or not. Like Radheshampu recently was taking one class for all of us. He was telling that how we can see that we are making advancement in the spiritual life or not. He says the three things are very important to see. That with the day by day, our enthusiasm to practice Krishna consciousness is increasing or not. Second thing, we need to see that our desire to enjoy or desire to uh, do sense gratification is reducing or not. And third thing he says that uh, how much we don't get affected by the change in the material world or the change in the situations. Or sometimes there is a failure, sometimes success, sometimes sukha, sometimes dukkha. How much we are equipoised in all the situations, that is a better word. Right? So if we are three things, these things are taking place, then we are making progress. Right. So this uh, is also telling like the Prabhupada is telling in the chapter 14, the contamination of all kinds of process by the material nature is described. Only devotional service is described as the purely transcendental. Right. Now, okay. Now in the Srila Prabhupada is telling further that, I just say it with all. Hmm. Every nook and corner is the property of the Supreme Lord. Paramam Mama, the word Paramam Mama is very important to understand that. Actually, every nook and corner is the property of the Supreme Lord. But the spiritual word is Paramam, means full of six opulences. And Katha Upanishad also confirms that in the spiritual world there is no need of sunshine, moonshine, or stars. The whole spiritual sky is illuminated by the internal potency of the Supreme Lord. Now the question comes that the Jiva who left that world, है that abode and came to this world. So Krishna is telling that Jiva is is my amsa, he is my part and parcel, but he got entangled here. And then how he transmigrate from one body to another body. Now how he become conditioned in this tree. So that now for the 7 to for the 12 till 12 has been explained. Okay. So till now we read about what is the tree, the upside down this tree's description we saw. In the tree we saw the root is what the desire to enjoy, and then subsidiary roots is attachment and aversion, and then we saw for the reflection is there, the desire, the surface of reflection is the desire, and then twigs are what the sense objects, the tips of the branches is senses, and the leaves are the Vedic hymns. So this is about the whole tree, the description we saw. And this whole tree is very much complicated. The only solution is that the Sastrena Dadena Chitva. By determination, one should cut off this tree. And so, what is the way of cutting off? This is surrendering to Krishna. And if you surrender, so what is the process of surrendering? Then process of surrender has been explained further. The Nirmana Moha Jita Sangha Dosa. The first thing is what? First qualification is what? One should give free from the false pride. One should not think that I am the controller, proprietor, enjoyer of this world. And the Krishna is the proprietor, enjoyer, and controller of this world. Actually, if you see in these three also, somebody consider proprietor, then only he controls. And when he controls, then he want to enjoy. These are linked with each other. The first thing is that proprietor. So we should understand what is our own, what is not our own. That's what. And then by process of surrendering, we cut off this tree, and then we can go to the spiritual world. And that the description of the spiritual world has been mentioned in the sixth sloka. Now, transmigration of the jiva will be seeing in the next week. Okay. Anybody has any question? One or two questions can be taken. Yes, Rantidepu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for such a wonderful class. Prabhuji, like Miss ki here in this tree description, senses, sense object means like it's compared. So, but Prabhuji, like they are entangling. Basically, senses, sense object, and desire they are entangling. But why these leaves they are compared to Vedic hymns? It's Vedic hymns, like although some Vedas they are in ignorance and passion, but Vedas are in goodness also, and through Vedas only we can understand God. So
Hmm.
why this
So by
entangling tree has
Vedic
this
hymns
leaf?
means what? Somebody may be on these leaves are there. The leaves means Vedic hymns में भी बहुत सारे फलश्रुति देके रखा है, बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसे हैं जिनका हेल्प लेके व्यक्ति हो सकता है कि इस एक पत्ते पे ही रहे, उस लीफ पे ही रहे, लेकिन वेद वित्त का मतलब क्या है? उस व्यक्ति को पूरा ट्री पता होना चाहिए। अल्ली वैदिक हिम्स, कुछ वैदिक हिम्स जान रहा है मतलब उसको एक पत्ते के बारे में पता है इतना। दैट्स व्हाई द लीव्स आर कंपेयर्ड टू वैदिक हिम्स। इट मींस व्हाट? ही डज नॉट नो द पर्पस ऑफ वेदा, है ना? Getting it is not
Ah,
literary meaning, it is like a
understood.
that the spirit has to be taken, है ना? So one has to know the whole tree, and it means if one understand the Vedas properly, then he will know the whole tree, and then he will understand that one has to cut this tree, you know, and then he has to surrender to the Lord and go to the spiritual world. That is the purpose of Vedas. लेकिन बहुत सारे लोग देखो वेदों को पढ़ने के बाद भी स्वर्ग लोग जाते हैं, फिर वहीं रहते हैं, फिर वापस आते हैं, समझ आए ना। अब बहुत सारे लोग शास्त्र पढ़ने के बाद भी कर्म करो, अच्छे से कर्म करो, फल की इच्छा मत करो, ये सब क्या हो गया, है ना।
Thank you.
Surrender of Lord is not there anywhere, है ना। But they are planning from better place in the material world. It is jail के अंदर they a good in jail is looking for a good room like that, but jail is jail only, है ना। Okay, so thank you very much. Prabhupada ki jai.